Is Thursday. Wow, this week has been going kind of fast for me. Um, so I have we got another DoorDash session going on at 11. So this is going to be a short one. Uh, Yesterday was a little better for DoorDash, and I think I averaged $15 an hour. It's still below minimum wage, but hey, it's better than 12 or whatever it was, 10 or 12 I've been doing the last few times. So, actually, wait a minute. Actually, no, I don't have a DoorDash today until 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock even. Because I tried to set it up this morning. Tomorrow I have one at 11. So, hey, we're good. I'll be around for a bit. So I can actually get some work done, hopefully. I would like to get, ideally I get a lot of this microservices, basic framework stuff done. Last time I was, or in fact, even since the last time, I have been working on putting down some of my thoughts on upcoming play cards. So this is what I've been kind of working on. This is look. I'm writing with a stylus on a vertically positioned Surface Pro. So I'm not. It's not even down like on paper. So no, it's not beautiful, but it hacks out the basic layout of what I'm thinking, just trying to get some concepts in mind. What do I want on the card that's going to show up for, in this case, a coach? Additionally, I was kind of going through what do I want on my playbook, what's going to be showing up on that. So this is it's really hard to write a square on a slippery screen. so please acknowledge that, and we'll just move forward from the ugly drawing. But essentially, I'm trying to draw up kind of a rough screen. Yes, it might end up being different than that, but you can see I put down a lot of notes, what the various parts I want on the screen. This will help me to lay out in my mind, and also define that when I start working on the playbook options and components, I'll know kind of what needs to be in the database, what's getting stored, how to, and what all I need on individual cards. So a play card, again, bad drawing. I even tried to write some of my text. Then I started thinking, hey, you know what? I could just type. So I started doing that a little bit. So this is my concept for the mastery of a play. So some have a difficult level, mastery difficulty. This may not be a difficult play, but the ultimate thought is that, first of all, long plays are difficult to be when you're playing them. It's not that it's hard to run the route necessarily, but the timing between you and the quarterback and the amount of time it takes for a quarterback to be able to know when to throw the ball, and for the receivers to actually to hit their route points, getting that timing down and not getting sacked. So it's difficult for the offensive line. It's difficult for the quarterback and the receivers to get everybody in sync. So it is a difficult play. Almost any deep play is difficult. Sometimes you have one guy who's just streaking down the side, not as difficult because you have a lot of options. It's easier to find a short option, but maybe if you're trying to wait, difficult. But ultimately, so the mastery of a play will be determined by how many times a player actually executes that play. And so what we're going to have is, which players have mastered or are on a track to master this play. Now, if you're in the learning stage of a play, this means you're slightly, again, these are all minute differences on how a play or how the game's going to play out. A person who's still learning has a more chance of mistakes or failure to execute their their part in the play. Same goes. So the opposite goes, of course, for players that have mastered it. Very unlikely to make a mistake. They're going to be where they need to be. Hey, Roman Bouch, how you doing, man? Where did I come from? Where did I come from? Where did I come from? I don't know. I've been here, man. I've been here a long time doing my thing, working on programming. Now I'm full force into programming my first video game. Oh, I guess that sounds about right. Romaine Bouch. Is it Balk? No, I'm just trying to think how I might pronounce that in, with a French pronunciation. Romaine Bouch. Oh, I see what you're saying. You were having issues with English versus French. Okay, I get it. Sorry. Where am I from? So I guess that would be the question. Where am I from? I'm in the U.S. I'm American. I'm Northwest part of the United States. So, be Washington State, the far northwest of the state of the country. So, some of my well, that's cool. So do I. That's I've never actually been to France, so I can't really say much about it, but I wouldn't mind going there sometime, visit. I don't know when that'll happen, but it would be kind of fun, I think. So anyway, I was just discussing some of my plans for the development of this game. I'm hoping to be able to actually get the. So, in this play card, the mastery of a player will determine how efficient they are at the play. Now, it doesn't guarantee success. You could still have incomplete passes and such, but it'll be potentially with a slightly better chance. Again, a lot of this is minutia, so it's not like just because you've mastered the play, you're going to always execute it. Come visit. Come knock on it. Hey, man, remember me? We met online. Yeah, man, I hear you were looking for someone to come stay at your house. that would freak you and your family and friends out. It's like, who's this rando showing up? And it's like, and then if I don't see you again, this is the first time we talk and the only time we talk between 6 months now, and I show up, say, you invited me, remember? You're going to be like, I don't remember that. that would be quite the encounter. Anyway, so the next features of this card, you can see I have favored player. Now, favored player is intended to be like you can assign favored player, favored position. And so if a player is, like, say, for example, you have a really fast guy that you don't normally have starting on the team because maybe his other skills aren't so great, but you're running a sweep and you want this guy to be in there to take the ball. So in that case, you would set him as a favored player, and you set the position. You set the position as the person who's going to get the ball. Okay. So you would set both. Now, you could have a favored position, which means if a particular play has 4 routes, but you want your quarterback or the odds to favor a particular route. So maybe you don't want him to take those deep routes. Maybe you want him to think about the hook first. Now, it's not a guarantee, but what it'll do is it kind of changes the order of progressions for the quarterback, or who he's going to focus on as the first potential shot. So it's all, there's a lot of stuff going on there, but he will consider the position that's favored over others. Now, if you have a favored player that's already on the field, that's kind of like favored position. Maybe you want him to focus on a particular guy. You want second receiver to get it. And he's already on the field. So you would say, so he's already like in that position. So you want him to be that. So you could do favored position, favored player, but it just makes sure that the favored player just makes sure he's on the field. And he'll come in at the lowest position unless you say favored position. So if you use both, a favored player who's not on the field will come in at the position you tell him to. If you just say favorite player and he's not on the field, he'll come in at the bottom of the depth chart. So it just puts him on the field and won't have as much say. Oh, yeah. Now, you see here, I have the 3 player little icons. And what that means is these are the guys that are currently slated to be targets of the play. So the quarterback, the wide receivers, people who are going to, the potential ball handlers per the depth chart you currently have set up. So your team as is right now. So like if you were to go take this guy and put him on the bench and put someone else at the starting position, you'd have it. This would update to a different list of players. So it's always going to be who you have currently set up on your team as your starters. Hey, thanks for the follow. Always appreciated that, Roman. So after I get that and play, I have that really loud, don't I? I should probably set that a little quieter. I do know that what do you call it? YouTube doesn't like that sound bite. So they mute 15 seconds of they mute the time that it's going. So I should probably make it quieter, just because if I make it quieter, they're maybe less likely to hear it or notice it. But I don't know. Guess we'll find out. I'm not worried about the 15 seconds. They haven't like muted my stream or given me a strike. If they gave me a strike, yes, that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm developing this. You see this simulation, this game down here. I created this simulation that you see at the bottom of my screen. Well, during the last month, and it's kind of the first step in a design process of creating a much more complex American football simulation. So these are the features that I'm planning to put into the game. So oftentimes I'm sitting there kind of going, like I'll wake up in the middle of the night going, I want this card to have this and that. And then an hour and a half later, I've totally laid out what I want or what I'm thinking, and I have to get up. So I have to go write it down. So that's what you see here is a lot of what I'm planning to put into the game. And again, it's all like, it looks like chicken scratch because I'm using a stylus on a vertically set up Surface Pro. So I'm like writing like on a whiteboard, and I've never been a whiteboard writer. So these are the things that I want to have in a game plan. Like basically it's a list of situations, right? So you got down and distance for what you want your plays, what plays you want to call, what kind of things you want to do. And you got down distance, time left in the half, time left in the game, which is also an option here, which I have to put back in here. Leading by. Now, if you see leading by -3, that means you're behind. So if you say a +3 or more, I mean, you could set whatever you want. These are just the values that you're going to set. And then what plays you'd kind of like you want your coach to kind of focus on. So what's going to happen is, all right, so this is the design aspect of how the plays are going to be called in the game. So you're going to have this coaching profile that you're going to set up, and you're going to have basically this game plan. And what it's going to do is it's going to provide 4 plays. Now, if you were controlling the team, like say, for example, I'm not talking about a joystick controlling. if you're like doing a head-to-head game and you're picking your own plays. And what's going to happen is you're going to get 4 plays that pop up in front of you. You can go to other pages in your playbook. Say you put 30 plays in your playbook. You can go to other plays, but the first 4 plays that come up will be, the first slot is going to be one of your favorite plays, one of these preferred. Man, I can't even read my own writing. What does that say? Preferred play? I don't even know what that says. Packaforic. Wow. Dude, what did I write? Man, I don't know what I wrote there. But the idea is that I think it's either supposed to be preferred or favorite. I do not know what that's supposed to be. God, that's so bad. I do know that this word is supposed to be play. Man. All right, that's got to go. That is not good. We're going to go favored play. Favored. Okay. It's at least readable. So, what this is going to be is the favored plays. Now, you can have 3 favored plays. The 4th slot will be a random play or a play that the coach's tendency will pull in. It's going to have the coaching card. Each coach that you can get on your team will have a tendency. And that tendency is going to give the 4th play some kind of control. So what a favored play is, your first slot will be one of your 3 favored plays. Your second slot and the third slot will have increased chances of your favored plays that weren't already selected, in addition to the randomization of the rest of the plays. So where, like, say it just randomly picks one of the other plays in your playbook, it will also have a higher chance of like this. So maybe like one of your favorite plays that wasn't selected in the first slot will be a 10% chance versus all the other players being a single chance. So if you've got another 20 plays, you got a 10% chance that it'll be one of your favorite plays, a 90% chance that it'll be some other play. Now, I haven't set down those percentages yet. It could even be 25. I have no idea what I was thinking when I wrote that word. I was probably still half asleep. I told you, the day I woke up and started deciding I needed to put these thoughts on paper, I had been sleep deprived because my brain was going and going. I got up at like 4:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I got to write this stuff down. And I was just writing things and throwing them down because I needed to work on them. So, that was bad. I can barely tell the other one is play, only because I know those are plays that it must be favored play. So the third slot, second and third slot will be a high percentage chance of a favored play versus another one of your plays. So there's a chance you can get all 3 because of their high odds of being picked are your favorite plays. And what that's meant to be is that your coaching profile, when the simulation is running, what that means is your favorite plays in those situations have a higher chance of being called. A significantly higher chance of being called, so that your game plan kind of leans in the way you want. Also, when you're controlling, you'll see those plays first as options, and you'll have a chance to pick one of those quickly if you don't want to be digging through all your plays for your favorite plays. And like I said, the 4th play will be defined by your coach, or a random. So it's what I should probably do here is say 4, and then this one here is coach. Yeah. Okay, so Anyway, so yeah, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 favorite play. Now you have a play call. Again, you have control. This is actually a category of plays in the same situation. So if it's short, you want your first option to be a run, your second option to be a short pass. That will also affect what plays show up in the favorite play category. So you're going to have high probabilities of getting plays that you want set up for this particular situation. So really what this is a straight line that goes across like that. So you're going to have all your options. See, that's a nice straight line. Like I said, it's a straight line all the way across. So, and you can add new situations. Now, obviously, this is a terrible drawing, and it's not linear, and yeah, it's ugly. But this is OC, means offensive coordinator. This piece you see right up here. Let's see, does this show? Yeah, so this little piece here is OC, and then this piece down here is DC, which is defensive coordinator. All it means is offense and defense. I might even change it to offense and defense. But it's just so that you can set up plays that are specific to that side of the ball when your team is with the ball or not with the ball. So that's kind of what I've been throwing down. I haven't put the player card down. That is kind of my next thing. I should probably actually put in some text for these items. Somewhere in here, I'm hoping I can put text. Oh, I know what I can do. Let's do this nonsense. Okay, we're going to go play call. Higher rate of favorite play. Now, keep in mind, during the simulations, when you're not actually controlling your team, you know, the NFL's trying. The NFL wants to get international teams going. And they've tried in the past. I think at one point they were even thinking about adding an expansion team that was going to be in Europe. But I think it's just kind of difficult because it would be really rough on that team, right? Because you have an expansion team in Europe. We have what is it, 32 teams, and if they add an extra team in Europe, that means they have to travel to the United States 8 times at least, right? Because I think we have 17 games, so it's either 8 or 9 times a year they would have to travel to the United States, because half your games are away, half your games are at home. And you would only have 8 teams. Actually, your division rivals, the other division rivals that you have, would have to travel out to your location, all 4 of them. And then you'd have 4 other teams that have to travel out to Europe. So I don't know what it would be. I have watched some rugby, not frequently. You know, I've seen it. I've seen how they play, and it's a rough sport. Those guys are tough. I'm impressed. I mean, they certainly don't wear as much padding, and it's a go sport, a lot like what do you call it? Soccer. I mean, it's like they're running. It's like a violent soccer. I mean, no, they're not using their feet only, but I mean, they're knocking each other around and they're continually moving, right? The balls just go until someone scores. And so you got the cardiovascular of soccer with the I don't know, the physical harshness of football, American football. And you get about as many pads as soccer. So these guys are they're tough dudes. And I'm surprised. I mean, American football is a little bit more technical. It's quite a bit more technical than rugby. But I'm surprised a lot of those guys don't make it to the NFL. Because I feel like they could certainly take the hits, right? I mean, that's their thing. They probably don't want to have anything to do with all that padding, though. They're used to, getting in there down and dirty. That's like schoolyard American football executed by grown men. Because when you play schoolyard football here in the U.S., we don't have pads and junk. I mean, we just go tackling each other and hitting each other. And I remember, having my shoulders. I played with a bunch of friends one time. I think it was in high school, and I don't know what's going on. All right, and I was playing defensive lineman basically, and I'm not a big guy, and I certainly wasn't a big guy then. I'm bigger now than I was, but I was kind of quick, and the other team had two pretty good sized dudes blocking for their quarterback. But they were kind of slow, and they're friends of ours. I mean, I can't remember who they were, but at the time we'll all just get together on the field, and I would just blitz, and I'd split these two guys, and they'd constantly hit one shoulder and the other shoulder all day. So for the hour or so that we played, hour and a half of playing football, I had to go to work that night. So obviously I'm old enough to be working. I was 17, 18 years old. And I keep blitzing between them, and I sacking and chasing down the running back and doing whatever my part was to do. But it turns out I had to go to work that night, and I had to do stalking. And as it turns out, I had fractured or slightly fractured my collarbone from getting hit on that side. And then on the other side, I had sprained my rotator cuff on the other shoulder. So the other guy was hitting me on the other side, and I just keep smacking. So when I went to work, now a sprain versus a break or a fracture, and that was a hairline fracture. It wasn't like a cracked, it wasn't a compound or anything, but it was they respond differently in your body. So when I went to work that night, I believe it was the sprain. I want to say the sprain, because I can't remember what it was at this time. But the sprain really swelled up and was really painful that night. So I couldn't lift my arm while I was stalking, and I was working with a bunch of people. And they were like, "What'd you do?" And I said, "I went out and played football, and I could barely move this arm, so I'm stalking with one arm the whole night, right?" And the other one's kind of hurting, but it wasn't too bad. And so I couldn't lift the other arm. It was that bad. So that whole night, and my right arm was working. So I show up. It was either the next night or the night after that. I show up, and the swelling or whatever had gone down a little bit in the other arm, but the fractured shoulder had inflamed. It had gotten really bad, and that's the one that made me go to the doctor. But I showed up at work the next night or the next time, and I couldn't move the other arm. I literally could not lift the other arm. But my other arm, with my original arm, was good. So I'm there working, and I'm lifting with one arm still, and they're going, "Wasn't it your other arm you injured?" And I'm like, "Yeah, this one's hurting now." And they're like, "Oh yeah, sure." They were pretty sure I was faking it now, because I had switched arms in the middle of, from the one night to the next. And I go, "No, there's something going on." So I went to the doctor, and they told me, "Yeah, you have a hairline fracture and a sprained rotator cuff, and that's what happened. The swelling on one had gone down. It's still injured, but the other was, it's inflamed, and you're going to have to reduce movement, preferably on both shoulders." So I had to take a few days off from work to let them recover a little. The sprained rotator cuff recovered pretty quick, and the fracture, I had to wear a sling for a little while on that. It wasn't terrible, but still, it looked bad at work, and they had a hard time believing me when I switched arms. It's kind of like, coming in lame, complaining, and then you forget which leg you did, so they were pretty sure it was all fake, not just one. at that point. But anyway, it's a rough sport to play. Football is a rough sport to play without pads, and rugby is basically football without pads. I mean, in a lot of ways. And I'm impressed by those guys because I don't know what their careers are like, but you got to be tough for that. But think about taking those really tough dudes and then putting pads on them and protecting them. Now they're pummeling you with protection on. So those are the rough guys to play in the NFL because they're like, oh wow, I've got gear on now. Now you're really in trouble. Anyway, what I'm supposed to be working on today is finishing up my initial microservices, so that I can start having implementing my backend for this application. I want to be able to get it so that all my database stuff is ready to go, and I can start creating microservices and backend APIs so that I can start working on the front end UI. Now there will be a web component, as you can see in this little demo here. The goal for that is the website component is, doggone it, stop losing. It's mostly random stuff going on, but it's still. Denver has to play the Colts this coming weekend. Then I've been running Denver Broncos versus the Colts. And although Denver wins a few of these, they've been losing too many. And I hope this better not be a prediction of what's to come, because Denver really needs to beat those guys. And they're not a good team. I mean, okay, they're back a game or two, but Denver really needs to win this game. They need to eliminate them from the playoffs. Denver's trying to make the playoffs the first time in forever since they won the Super Bowl. They have not been to the playoffs since they won the Super Bowl in 2015. And that's because, they lost everybody. I mean, coaches, everything changed and things just fell apart. And they've had a hard time getting back. I had a conversation with a guy who was asking if I was doing soccer, because I said football, and I told him no, it's American football. And he goes, and I told him, he said, what do you know about soccer? And I go, nothing. I can name like two guys. I can name David Beckham and Pele. And he goes, Pele? Pele was like in the 70s, right? And only because these are the names that have come up as great players in their time, and in my mind they stuck. But Pele was like 70s, I think. And David Beckham is, he's American now, but I don't know if he played for other teams. But he sent me this compilation of another guy. He says, you got to watch this guy. So he sent me a YouTube link for Ronaldinho. He says, you got to watch this one. And it was a compilation. I don't know. It was probably 2 or 3 minutes long. Holy freak, man. That dude. Yeah, Beckham soccer. So is Pele, and so is this Ronaldinho. But I'm just saying, we were talking soccer. He was trying to show me, like you, this guy he thought was like one of the best in soccer. And I had never heard of him. And I go, all right, I'll go check it out. So I went and checked out the Ronaldinho. It's Ronald, I-N-H-O, but it's all one word. So his name is Ronaldinho or something like that. And I watched it. Dude, this guy was so amazing. I mean, I am not a soccer fan. Soccer's boring. It's not enough scores. But, and watching guys run up and down the field. But I got to say, this guy was superhuman with what he did with the ball. Oh my gosh. I mean, I have to say, in football, in American football, I believe one of the best players in history was Barry Sanders. Best running back for sure. And he only played for like 8 years, but he was breaking records like crazy. he had a short career, but he still almost broke a career rushing record because he just got thousands of yards throughout his career. And the guy was untackleable. He was just amazing. He played for a bad team, and I think that's why he ended his career early. He was just tired. He was actually a good guy, too. He was the kind of guy who wasn't going to be one of those crybabies. I want to play for a different team if you're not going to, compete. A lot of guys do that. They'll start crying until they get traded to some other team so they can go play and maybe have a shot at the Super Bowl. He wanted the Super Bowl, but he wasn't going to desert his team, and unless they were willing to trade him, on their own, on his own merits, he finally decided it just wasn't worth it. But the guy, he was great in American football, but this dude was awesome. American football is not about being, okay, that's not true. You do got to be pretty tough. But I think American football is, the tough guys are at the line, right? I mean, and some defensive guys. I mean, if you think about like Lawrence Taylor and a couple of the other old school defensive linemen, these dudes were, they were brutal. Dick Butkus and old school defensive dudes. Then there's been a few since then. I mean, there's been free safeties, and I can remember Steve Atwater for the Broncos was crazy good. There was Schlesinger was an offensive lineman who was considered to be one of the best linemen in NFL. But so there's a lot of tough guys. But I think American football is more about skill and finesse. I mean, when you think about the great players, I mean, even at defense now, they're just quick, fast. They have this fluidity about them. It's more about just being, not only having, strength and power on defense, but also that quickness and finesse to just make people look bad. To me, that's more impressive. That is what really catches my eye, and that's why I liked Barry Sanders so much, because the guy could just embarrass an entire team of defensive players in one play. I mean, he would just embarrass them. They'd be flying around like kids diving at clovers, They would be trying to figure out how to tackle him, and he just would be all over the place. And he just did it year in and year out, play in and play out, and he just made people look terrible. He also had one of the most number of runs for losses, because he just wouldn't go down. Sometimes that didn't work out. But in most of those games where he would have those losses, he'd also have gains that were like 70, 80 yards that would offset it. Oh, yeah, it probably... Actually, your link went through. Nightbot will complain, but your link is there. I can look at it. So, no, that's probably there. But you can also put stuff in my Discord if you want. There's a link to my Discord under my screen. But yeah, no, it sent it. I have your link here, but if you put it in my chat and I don't get a chance to get to it while I'm chatting, it's just going to disappear. So you're better off sending it to my Discord or something, because then I can look at it when I have a moment, and then I will take a look. But so yeah, there's a lot of great players out there in their sport, and I even if I don't follow a sport, I can definitely appreciate what somebody's doing that is just amazing. I can obviously name a lot more great football players than I can name soccer players or rugby players. I could probably name a few tennis players. I was always a big tennis player myself. I mean, I love playing tennis. It's one of the best sports. Been playing a lot of pickleball lately, but that's because my wife got into it and I wanted to play with her. And then she had to do back surgery, so now she's on the mend from that. But hopefully, next year we'll be back at it. But tennis to me is like just such a technical sport. I love the moving around the court and the one-on-one competition. I mean, you are everything in the team, right? You are the team. You are the sole reason for your success or failure. and and how good your opponent is. I suppose that'll have some effect. But you are the one that determines your fate. So I like one-on-one sports, and to me, soccer has always been one that, or tennis has always been one that I've liked. So I could probably name a few pretty good tennis players too. But just like I play a lot of chess, and I like, I could probably name a few big name chess players from the past. Again, I don't really keep up with chess that much, but I'm aware of like the all-time greats because they're always so far beyond me. I've always been a good buffer. Is that a hex symbol? OXAA55. Is that a hexagonal number? What does it mean? So Roman here has got me chit-chatting about the all-time greats of football and rugby. And of course, that distracted me off into other discussions I've had about those same kind of things. And it's kind of drawn me off my task. So sorry about that. I do tend to get sidetracked sometimes in my discussions with people. Let me see here. Let's see if let's see here. Whoops, nope. Go away. Why does it do that? Dude, this guy looks like a brute, man. Die Hard Rugby. Everybody was afraid of him. Sebastian Chabal is an aggressive... I don't know what it says. Let's see what this... Let's check this video out quick. You know what's... I will say this. The one thing I like about rugby is these guys tackle correctly. You don't ever see accidental spearing in rugby. It's rare. Because in rugby, they don't have a helmet on or football pads to protect them. So these guys know that if they attack with their head, they're the ones going to get hurt. They may cause extra damage on the impact, but they're going to mess up their head, their neck. They're smart because they're protecting their own body. So in the NFL, there's some dirty players who will take advantage of the fact that they're wearing a helmet. And yes, they'll get penalized in most cases if the refs see it. But, they come at you with their head up or their head down, and they don't tackle well. He is hitting beautifully. I mean, he's getting his shoulder in there and he's taking them down solid. That's how you tackle when you don't have pads, and you're less likely to get hurt. So did France win a lot of rugby championships with him? Was he? Was he like the peak of, France's team success? Unfortunately for Barry Sanders, they never won a championship. Like like a lot of team sports, great players don't necessarily guarantee championships, right? If you don't have the supporting cast. But I think rugby allows for single players to mean a lot more because it's not as structured. Like in the NFL, it's like there's the guys who block up front. There's the quarterback who throws the ball, gets the ball away. There's the receivers who have to catch it. There's the running backs who carry it. But you know, it's hard for a single player to guarantee a win, guarantee championships, right? I mean, one of the greatest quarterbacks I believe in NFL history, two of them actually, are Dan Marino and Drew Brees. Now, Drew Brees won one championship, went to 2 Super Bowls, but if you look statistically at all of his passing career, he has like of a lot of the career marks, he's like 7 or you know, best seasons. He's like 6 or 7 of the top best seasons in NFL history, just him. And there's like 2 or 3 other guys in there. Naming a lot of great quarterbacks are those other guys, but he's like 1, 2, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, it's like the guy was amazing, but he just had a mediocre team around him a lot of times. And although he could get the ball to guys, you know, you can only do so much if your defense is bad. I think with rugby, a lot of these guys are on the field both ways. So if you've got great players, they're playing both ways. It's not quite as structured. You know, the plays aren't as complex. You don't have a lot of pauses. So one dude could really wreak havoc if he's, you know, if he's that amazing. Oh, it's like the guy gets the ball and he says, "Oh, I see him. I'm in trouble." Oh, the guy took the ball out of his hands.
Pour Chaval, faites de la passe, il reste debout Chaval, oh il reste debout, énorme, Sébastien Chaval.
It's not a 2-minute video, it's a 4-minute video. So was the Ronaldinho one. I think it was about 4 minutes. You guys got some serious legs there, man. I gotta wonder how many guys in rugby end up with concussions from slamming the ground. That's the thing is about having no head protection. You go down, your head hits hard. But all these guys are smart. They keep their head out of the play, or at least they try to. He's fast too, man. Guy's got some wheels.
Oui, pour encore. Avec Jack. Jack repoussé.
Wow.
Avec Chaval maintenant. Chaval qui progresse. Qui est
Impressive. The guy is definitely a brute, man. I'm definitely impressive. It's always cool to, I mean, it's cool when your team has a great player, right? I mean, Denver had a couple of great teams. I mean, I wish I could say Barry Sanders played for my favorite team. He played for the Lions, but you know, I don't watch much basketball, American basketball. which of course is basketball, but I'm talking about the NBA. But, I knew that, one of the greatest players was Michael Jordan, who I still believe is probably one of the best ever, although LeBron James has been pretty impressive in his career. Wilt Chamberlain would tell you different. I was pretty sure he was the greatest ever. But I don't know. I mean, just some of the impressive things that some of these guys do. Every sport's got their Superman, right? The guy that just amazed. It's sad. I mean, Tiger Woods was probably one of the, probably the greatest golf player. But unfortunately, even though he's still playing, he just really just lost it at some point. Probably when his personal life kind of went downhill. So did his success. But, it's one of those things you keep wondering if he'll ever find his magic again. But he's getting older now, so it's probably unlikely. I haven't actually looked. To me, the best player in American football was, to me, the most impressive is probably Barry Sanders. I haven't looked to see if there's a compilation for him. There is actually a Netflix show that talks about Barry Sanders, and it's called Bye Bye Barry, and it references his career and why he retired. I mean, a lot of people don't understand or why he retired, because he was like, what was it, 1,000 yards from breaking the career rushing mark in only his like 8th or 9th season, which would have been like 5 seasons ahead of the guy who said it. He was that far ahead on pace. He could have broke umpteen more records if he'd have just stuck around for a few more seasons, and he'd have just locked them all up. I mean, he would have the career rushing record to this day if he had stuck around at the rate he was going. I mean, assuming, he didn't go downhill or get injured or something. But, I don't know if there's a Barry Sanders. Here we go, Barry Sanders. Let's see. Of course he was awesome in college football too, but let's see. Let's see what this highlights. Top 50 plays. How long is this? That's 10 minutes. Let's just see career highlights. Here's a 12-minute one. Here's a 5-minute one. Barry Sanders touchdown. Okay, these are all touchdowns. Barry Sanders had, an 8-year career, so it was pretty significant. This one's shorter.
In it again in motion. Double tight end. Barry again off the right side, breaks one tackle to the 40, fights free! He's on his way! 25, 20, 15, 10, and he scores! Unbelievable! He was tied up twice, and he just kept pounding those legs, and he scores, and the Lions have the lead.
Some of his most impressive ones are when he's behind the line of scrimmage.
Kramer. The Barry spins free, touchdown, Lions!
Wow!
Barry Sanders with a move.
There was a blitzing outside backer that took a direct bead on Barry Sanders. And Barry sensed him coming and
now these are just scores. Some of his best plays probably weren't even scores.
First down at the 20 for Scott Mitchell. Barry Sanders, single setback, 3 yards
That's
away
the kind of moves he does. He just like throws people
Barry gets the call,
all over
to the
the place.
25, 30, off to the races, 40, 50. 40 down the right sideline, high step it a bit to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5.
Now he retired in like the mid to late 90s.
Holy mackerel, he's done it again. 80 yards. David Sloan with a key block that got him outside, and then it was just a sprint to the end
That
zone.
move he shows on against that one defender at the beginning is kind of his
to Barry Sanders, bounces on the
thing.
tackler, down the sideline goes Barry, look out, he's to the 30, to the 20, Barry Sanders to the 10, he is in for a touchdown. Touchdown gallop by Barry Sanders. He's over 100 yards today.
Champion Jim Brandstatter. Lions have the ball at their 19-yard line. And Barry gets the call. Sweeps to the right. Breaks a tackle to the 25, 30. 35. Barry up the right sideline. 40, 50. Cuts inside middle of the field. 40. Barry up to the races. 30, 20, 15, 10. They'll never get him. Touchdown.
Dude, I didn't realize. I mean, I knew he was fast. I didn't realize he was that fast.
81 yards.
He outruns a lot of
He's
people.
done it again.
I just remember him for his
He
moves.
is the best. Unbelievable.
See, there's a ton of Barry Sanders videos.
Possession for Detroit. Barry Sanders with a seam. Sanders with a cutback. And Sanders
cutbacks and spins and some of his.
And they snap, or about to snap, a 5-game losing streak. Mitchell in trouble again, gets out of it, and he gets it away to Barry Sanders in the open field. And look at Sanders make
Look at the way he moves,
he has
man.
him blocking
All right, so look, they even have a physicist explains Barry Sanders. A physicist explains Barry Sanders.
We're just under siege over here. Now this is all Barry. This is why he gets his money. Whoop, juke you. No, juke you. Two guys.
It's
on
the way
ground, picks up a
he would
block.
just juke
Now he's
everybody.
gonna juke some other folks. Whoop, juke you. And that
This is
runs
2 years
everybody
ago.
else.
They're still talking about Barry Sanders. He's been out of
Back to the NFL.
He's been out of the league for 25 years,
Second
and
down,
yet
8
they're still
coming
talking
from
about
the
it.
Bears 43-yard line, and it's Barry Sanders trying to
Look
take
at this.
advantage of a slide.
They just can't tackle him. The guy is
Touchdown,
just
Detroit.
amazing.
Watch. Through the right side.
Nope.
Morrissey's
Nope,
got
nope.
a shot. Roper's got
Nope,
a shot.
nope,
Singletary's
nope, still
got a
going.
shot. Carrier had a shot. He let him go, and now you can just forget it.
Second down. Sanders still on his feet, and Sanders is
Dude.
gone.
They even have how good was Barry Sanders actually? Like I said, I've never watched a lot of these videos.
Before everyone on this team is going to be heard from. You think you got him tackled? Oh, I mean, that's by keeping your feet going and making Sanders move.
I want to see, like,
There's only one guy in
it's
this
fun to
game
watch
that
him.
makes,
Like, if you
and
watch
he
that
just saw
video
pass.
sometime.
Sanders
Oh, this one's way too long. I don't want to watch anything that long.
From
I
the
have
17,
to work.
Minnesota. Sanders. Barry again.
And look at Sanders make moves. Puts the move on.
He's not running, he's floating, he's gliding, he's cruising, he's stopping, he's now cutting back, and now he's gone.
He was one of the greatest players, period.
One of those once-in-a-generation kinds of players.
See, look at the way he just goes
Elusive
left,
doesn't
right,
begin to
spins. Yeah,
tell
that's
you
always fun.
what
Okay,
this
so
guy
I know.
can do.
I can.
Sometimes you just gotta look to
I mean,
the heavens and say,
his
wow.
compilation videos are 20 minutes long, 15 to 20 minutes.
It
So
was like
they're
a
pretty
symphony
significant.
orchestra on a football field. The way he could break you down. It was like poetry in motion.
That one is a highlight reel special.
Anytime the ball was in his hand, you didn't want to miss it. You did not want to miss what he could do.
It's a privilege to be one of the players that will help
Yeah.
me.
It is a much more technical sport and than like rugby, I guess. There's a lot of, to say that all these sports, they all have their thing, right? And if the NFL is its own animal, they have strategy and technical aspects in all sports. I mean, soccer's got its own too, but it's just so. A lot of being a great running back, right, is about not getting hit, or making the guys who are supposed to be making you go down look silly, and that's what he did. So you're kind of like with the rugby, you play both sides. You're the guy nailing them, and you're the guy carrying the ball. So you get impressed on both aspects, and it takes just a lot of brute force because you're always at it. There's and a lot of great running backs, similar to other great running backs in the NFL had that same aspect where they were just brutes, and they would just hit and knock people down and plow right through everybody. Barry Sanders was strong. He was fast, but he was agile, unlike anybody you could imagine, and he just didn't get hit. He was, as you could see, he was capable of not only throwing guys off of him, but just most of them not even being able to get a grip on him. So that's why it was always so fun to watch him, because he was just everything you could want in a running back. And there's been defensive backs that are much like, defense is where you find the brutes, right? You find the guys that are fast, powerful, and just run people over, because that's their thing. That's where they're supposed to aspect. They chase down quarterbacks and running backs, and anybody, and they'll knock over blockers and just make people look bad in their own right. But yeah, the NFL, everybody's got a specific job. It's not like rugby. Rugby's, yes, there's guys who have specific jobs, but they have, there's a lot of blur, there's a lot of overlap in what they do. And yeah, there's not a lot of guys out there. I mean, there's been a few dudes who came out of, who have had flashes of Barry Sanders-esqueness, but most of them just don't stay there. They settle into a more brute force, or they just have short careers and they suddenly start getting hit and they kind of fade away. Few people have had the longevity and length of career that Barry Sanders had at that level of success. There's been a lot of running backs who've come out and had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 great years. Or some have long, good years, like Emmitt Smith, who was great for a number of years and had some good years, played a long time. He eventually is the one that broke the career rushing record. I don't know who owns it now, but it might still be him. I don't know. But, he had a long career. He had played more games and years than the guy he beat to get the career rushing record. Barry Sanders was on pace to do it in like 4 years before, but he just decided to retire. So he was in a class unlike anybody we've seen since. And every sport's got him. They've got their guy that's just like there's nobody. We're waiting to see the next great, amazing player at that position. Denver's American football's had a lot of great quarterbacks too. Obviously, I mean, Denver actually got to have one of the greatest in John Elway and Peyton Manning for a long time, and that's what made Denver one of the most competitive teams in the last 40 years. But this last 10 years has really sucked because this is a low. I mean, average wins per season for the last 10 years is lower than, probably the 10 years before they went to their first Super Bowl back in the 70s. They've had a really rough go, and getting back up to the upper echelons has been a rough go. And hopefully we've got a better situation now. Maybe we'll be there again soon. I'm hoping. I'll be right back. I gotta run upstairs quick and get me a drink. So I'll be back momentarily. Had to grab my potassium refill because I'm gonna need it. I did my boxing today. I mean, I usually try to do some cardio work twice a week in the midst of all of my other days where I'm doing weights and other strength exercises. But I like boxing. I think it's fun. I did eight 3-minute rounds on the punching bag at the gym today. That was pretty fun. I like it because it's kind of like running for the upper body. You know, you got some impact going, you got the cardio going, and you just get the full work. And I've worked my way up to 8 because, 3 to 4 rounds is exhausting. And I said, I'm going to push myself to kind of get 5, 6, 7. Today I went to 8. So getting 8 rounds in, I felt good. I felt good after 8 rounds. So, I mean, I run quite a bit too. I mean, I get out. I ran a few weeks ago on Thanksgiving. I ran a half marathon just to kind of go. So, but you gotta keep up on the nutrients when you're doing all that stuff. So this is the guy I've been following, trying to learn how to do these microservices in Go. He is very fast, very knowledgeable, but not a great teacher. However, he is one of the few guys I found on YouTube that was doing microservices with Go. So I'm following him. So it's been a little bit of a struggle here and there. And I'm new to Go. I have never actually programmed in Go before. And so this is all new. Of course, 5 months ago I was new to React. So I'm getting more comfortable with React for my web stuff. It's still not great. There's lots I need to learn, I'm sure. I've done authentication with it and some basic stuff. This application you see here, hey, Denver won 16-15. Yes. Was written it's mostly written in React. In fact, it's completely written in React right now. Hey Roman, yeah, thanks for coming by. Nice to meet you too. Maybe I'll see you around. You have a good one, man. So anyway, we'll continue to push along here. Hopefully I can get these microservices going because I eventually need to put the logic for the simulation on the back end. And I also need to start taking that logic and advancing it to the ultimate level, which is having the plays that are currently being generated fully dependent on the players and their interaction on the field. Now that's going to be a much more complex engine, but it is the heart of this game is how the players interact on the field and how they're going to, result in those plays. If that's not done well, the rest of the stuff is kind of meaningless. So what I'm eventually going to do is I have to write some test cases that not only test the functionality that things work, but also I got to have them be able to run like, I don't want to say load testing, but like run thousands of tests, games, and kind of see what kind of results I'm getting from players. Because I'm going to keep track of stats galore. And I hope I can do a lot of that stuff offline, like not online, because I'm afraid of all the calls to the server resulting in big bills from Microsoft because I'm going to be putting all this stuff on Azure, and I'm a little concerned about that stuff. Which brings me to, if you want to help back me on this project, I'm launching an Indiegogo campaign to allow me to focus 100% on this project. Now, when I say 100%, it means I'm working towards the completion full time. But as a streamer who's streaming my work, in a lot of cases, I won't be streaming all of it because a lot of times I'm working offline or squeezing things in the evenings that aren't, I don't know how long I'll be working, so I don't stream it. Or I'm trying to work. Sometimes I don't stream things where I've been working on the same task with trying to solve a problem for a couple of days, which happens sometimes. And so I'll be trying to hit it and solve it, and I just don't want to, stream the same thing for many days in a row. So I'll not stream for a while I try to figure it out, and then I will go over what I did or not to fix it, or what was my tasks. So not everything gets streamed, but a lot of it, and hopefully I won't have constantly, that derailing myself, which I do too. Don't get me wrong, I've let myself get derailed in conversations about not only this, but things that are related, hopefully. Now, for all of you people who come to watch me when I play games, which I do, usually Fridays and Saturdays are my big gaming days, and nights. I haven't been doing as much because this has become really my life right now. My focus is to actually get this app done. I'm going to get this done, barring a significant change in my current situation. So you will see less of me on this stream eventually. Hey, Savenicus, how you doing, man? I'm eventually going to be moving to a second channel, or a new channel. It's called Active Mind Games Dev. Kind of like Active Mind Gamer, but it's Active Mind Games Dev. It exists. You can get there by putting. I don't know that you can search that channel yet. I've uploaded a thing or two to start kind of feeding it with things. Oh, what did you do? Did you accidentally ban him or something? What'd you do? Savinicus. Oh. Sorry, he just logged off anyway. He may not even have noticed. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, you got to watch out. Some of the link he sent me earlier was fine. I don't worry about it too much if the links are just warnings or just one time. I tell most people though, if you want to give me a link, put it on my Discord. I'll check it out there. And I was saying before that if it goes into my chat, it could get lost because once this stream goes off, I don't usually go back and look at my chats. But honestly, I have all of my chats from my streams go to Discord as well. So I could actually go there and check through my most recent chats. I probably won't go up to months ago, but I could go up. It's on there. I don't know how much backlog the Discord chat will hold, but it does typically take all of my chats and they load up into Discord, which is kind of useful to me sometimes when I want to look back at stuff. But it's also a cluttered stream of stuff, so I don't always look at that. So it's better just to put it in there under my general topics. But anyway, let's do this.
Into your browser and type Golang gRPC, or
so yeah, this guy's having me install gRPC, which I think I kind of did up here. I'm pretty sure I did all this already, but maybe I didn't. Maybe this is what I was gonna do this time around. Let's see, package, found EO file, running. Yeah, maybe I didn't. No, let's go do this just in case. So I feel like I might have, but I don't want to not do it. Install the protocol, so I got to go to gRPC. Is this the right one? No. What is it called? gRPC. Oh. Nope, don't know. He doesn't show you this stuff. This just says gRPC, but it doesn't show you. He doesn't have the address on here, so I guess I'm going to be looking for it the old-fashioned way. Google. It isn't. I thought it'd be grpc.com. It makes sense, but maybe it's this one. gRPC IO. That looks like it. Now I had to figure out where he was in installing it. Docs, guides, authentication, installation. Protocol buffer compilation installation. Compiler installation. Is this it? gRPC now with easy installation. Let's do that one. Whatever that is. Here's how to install gRPC runtime today in all supported languages. Go. Go, Google, Golang. All right, let's take this one. Because I am doing it in Go. Golang org access. So my languages of choice are going to be Go backend, MongoDB for the database, which is backend, and front end is going to be Unity, C#, and then that's for the mobile app. And then I will use React for the web features. So that's the plan. All of which are brand new to me. At least it's within the last year of learning. So it's gonna be a journey, but we'll get through them. I'm looking forward to doing the Unity parts, but I really got to have the back end parts in place. I got to get the back-end microservices and APIs available so that I can start calling them from the UIs. And once I get some of those in place, I can start playing with the front end too. So I can start working on some back and forth development where I do a little bit of back end, a little bit of front end, a little bit of back end. And when I say a little bit, I mean a couple weeks here, a couple weeks there. I probably won't be going daily back and forth just because, it's a solutions issue. You try to solve one problem at a time, and sometimes one little piece could take several weeks. And then you go back the other way, one little piece takes, several weeks. And I don't know how long or what it's going to take to start even getting familiar with the Unity engine. So that in itself could be, a thing. But, Go's new. I don't know how complex Unity is. I don't even know. Here's the thing I got to find out about Unity. Is it free? Oh, good. The video, if somebody happens to watch this in post, that Savinicus is referring to. Yeah, I know. Okay, so it's not open source. That's the thing. But I am going to have to see how much it costs. Unity cost. Let's just go. Compare Unity plans. Uh-oh, here we go. Unity plans. Personal. Personal's free. And so we'll just pretend. Whoa, moly! But it gets expensive fast. All right, what can't I do without the deploy to game consoles? Oops, that's kind of important. Build 3D spatial apps for Apple. Well, that can be done later. Unity Mars authoring tools for I'm not doing augmented reality or whatever MR is. That's some other one. Mixed. Oh, that's mixed reality. Havoc physics for Unity. I don't even know what that is. But physics, I don't know if I'm going to need physics in mine because I'm not really creating that complex of interactions. Physics are cool. It might be good if I decided to have a pass thrown or something. I don't remember that. Was there a discussion of... To me, I just feel like I learned about Unity like a week and a half ago. I was deciding what game engine or what game tool I wanted to use in the mobile app. And a lot of them apparently use Unity. So, and it's C#, which at least means the code will be familiar to me. syntactically speaking. Let's see. Extended LTS support for 3 years. Don't know what that is. What is that? Build server license. Build server license. Huh. Source code access. Oh, I don't need source code access. I'm creating my own source code. Unity Asset Manager. Well, that comes with the free stuff. DevOps. Unity version control. Unity build. Why do I need Unity version control? Why it doesn't store underneath my own version control? I don't know. I think that's just extra. Crash and error reporting. Cloud diagnostics. Integration with collaboration tools. Pick one. So we got these 5 collaboration tools. Which one would you like? Well, I don't have anybody to work with right now. It's mostly just me, so I don't need any of them. But I'd probably use Teams or something like that. Monetize. Unity ads. In-app purchase plugin. Oh, that is something you can do for free. Support and learning. Well, I don't get any support. Priority queue for customer service in the free access. All right, so I don't think I need... I could probably get by with the free part during the initial phases because I'm just going to be creating it. Eventually, I'll need to deploy to game consoles. Hopefully, I can still deploy to what do you call it? My what do you call it? No, I don't even need game consoles. What am I talking about? Because I'm going to be only using a phone service, Android. And I don't need to go to game consoles. That's like what Xbox and if I do decide to create this to go to a game console, I'm way beyond. I'm probably making money by then. So it's producing income at that point, and $2,000 a year is probably doable. I don't expect any AR, MR, or I'm not sure what this Havoc physics thing is. Havoc physics adds robust collision detection and physical simulation to your most ambitious projects. Available for Unity. Huh. Source code access. I think I could get by on the free for a good chunk of what I'm doing. This one, if I decide to start, having player interaction, might be kind of useful, but I don't think I'm there yet. I mean, for $2,000 a year, I can definitely wait. That's like a future update. Because like I said, a lot of what I'm going to do is just manipulating images a la Marvel Snap. There's not going to be a lot of physics stuff going on. So it's going to be cards and, I want to have them be a little flashy. I want them to be able to move around cool on the screen. I want them to be able to do cool graphic-y things. But I don't think there's any physics involved in it. I mean, I don't need collision detection. I don't know. I don't know for sure what I'll need, to be honest, because I am not a graphics guy. But what I want to do is start... I don't want to say I'm becoming a graphics guy. Ultimately, for me, it's going to be, hey, I might be able to get this card out there to do what I want, but how will it look? At some point, I'm going to need to start recruiting help for visual beautification. And if that means, hopefully at that point, I'm getting closer to the end and my campaigns will do a little bit better, and maybe I'll have a little money. I can hire at least a part-time graphics guy to help make things look pretty. I don't know. That's down the road. We're talking before I get to the point where I have to have beautification in there. I think we're talking 12 to 18 months minimum before I'm looking for that kind of beautification. So that's a long time of development. Games take a long time to develop. I mean, 2 years is nothing. It's nothing in the world of game development. It's considering so many of these games you see out there took 5, 6, 7 years minimum. And some took more. I think, how long did it take Baldur's Gate 3? I think they said like 10 years to develop that. And that had big studios of people working on it. But they made, what, hundreds of millions of dollars on it. And I'm sure they made back a lot of that money. All right. So it is doable at free. I don't know. How can I become a student and get the free student plan? Take a class. I'd have to take like an official class somewhere to become a student. And I'd have to be a student for the entire time, I'm sure. I would guess this one is the most important if I did go to it, which would be the getting the physics engine. I'm not sure what the build server licensing is. A floating licensing solution to offload project builds to on-premises network hardware. I'm reading that totally wrong. Stop it. A floating licensing solution to offload project builds to on-premise network hardware, empowering teams to iterate faster. Additional build capacity is available for purchase. Understand, optimize, and debug code faster. Take projects further by tailoring the engine to your needs. Oh man, I cannot let go of this mouse in the right place. Launch your modification or custom code. Deploy your code using internal APIs and modify private data structure to delete, override, or extend functions. Launch modified or custom code. Deploy your code using internal APIs and modify private data structures to delete, override, or extend functions. Huh. I'm not exactly sure what that... I think that's shared data? I don't know. I mean, that's like source code that someone else provides? I can't imagine that you... I don't know, I guess... I don't know. Maybe Unity won't be my answer. I don't know if I can... We'll see. I'll see what the free version holds. Real-time development platform. Create and optimize high-end games and interactive experiences. Build once and deploy to reach more users with Unity's industry-leading multi-platform support. So... it is free-ish. I don't need it yet, though. Like I said, I think I need to stay away from it. I can download it and start playing with it at any time, but I need to stay away from it till I get this back-end stuff working. So probably get some of my back-end stuff up and start plugging it into my web interface just for the basic simulation, just to show that I've got my back-end parts functional, and then probably have to get my authentication going so I can get my authentication parts functional, because that's where I'm going to have, for my backers on my Indiegogo thing, I want to be able to provide access so that they can get in there and start playing with it. Even though there's not much to play with right now, when features come online, they'll be able to log in and start fiddling with stuff. So at first there won't be much for them, but at least I have that authentication set up and their account set up, and they can go load the website. Honestly, is there any game engine that's free? There's a lot of game engines. I've kind of looked at several of them. I don't know if any of them are free fully. But I'll be saving thousands of dollars not using SQL Server, so that's good.
I should leave a link in the below the video. But basically, if you don't have gRPC CLI in your machine, you should install it like so. And then I already have it on my machine, so I'm not going to do that. And basically, what we need to do after is go back to our codes. And we need to run the ProTalk CLI. What I'm going to do is that we're going to run this a couple of times. So I'm going to have this.
So he's under common. And he's creating, what, make file?
On a make file, so we can reuse.
Okay. This is make. Why did he capitalize it? Didn't capitalize any of his other files. Is that just accidental? Is there a reason?
Use this every time. I don't need to remember the command. So I'm going to call this gen. Then here under the documentation we have the regenerate gRPC code. This is the command that we're going to use. So let's just copy this guy here. And what?
Whoa! Whoa! I want that. I don't want to copy that. Guides? Dang, see, when he shows you stuff, he just shows you. This guy has a bad habit of showing you things that don't tell you where they're at. He just says, hey, go to this page, and you have to know what he's looking at. And it's like,
moving a little bit ahead here, because I know that we're going to use stripe, and the way that we're going to implement is that we're going to have a string, which is going to be the price ID there. So we know we store that in our database, and we could also have a name codes, and we need to run the ProTalk CLI. What I'm going to do is that we're going to run this a couple of times. So I'm going to have this on a make file, so we can reuse this every time. I don't need to remember the command. So I'm going to call this gen. Then here under the documentation.
okay, so documentation, quick start. Okay, let's go there. Oh, maybe he did have it. I just didn't see it. I mean, obviously he did have it. Docs. Introduction. Guides. Quick start. Quick start. Go. Aha! Is that the nonsense he was showing? Aha! There it is. I think that's what it is. Generate gRPC code. I think that's the thing he was copying right there. Hopefully that's the right one. Hold on, I gotta reply to my significant other, my wife. she's like, what's going on? Let's see. Well, man, she sent me a text that's like a mile long. Okay, so gotta reply here. Just a moment, sorry. She's asking questions about Christmas. You know, what's our spending limit on our kids? And I'm like, whatever. It's I mean, you know, it's hard. It's definitely a hard thing to know what to do, right? Because that's why I'm out door dashing, which I have to go do again later today, at $10 an hour or $12 an hour. Yesterday, actually, I think I broke $15 an hour yesterday, but that's like the highest I got. And that's because I was constantly going. And so I took, I think like 2 or 3 times, I took both an Uber Eats and a DoorDash option at the same time. Now, sometimes that works if your distances are pretty short, but sometimes those distances go in opposite directions. So, you know, a 3-mile drive to one is 6 miles once you go drop off the other one. So you're like, whoops. So it's kind of rough. You can kind of get a bearing, but you don't have a lot of time to decide, right? I mean, DoorDash gives you like 20 seconds to pick one to accept. So it's not a lot of time to review it. So basically for me, it's now Uber Eats is the worst as far as pay. They're terrible pay. So I reject a lot of the Uber Eats ones. I mean, the other day I went out and I had Uber Eats on. I got like 4 in a row, over 20 miles each. One was 24 miles for like $11. One was 27 miles for $12. We're talking less than 50 cents a mile. And I was like, no. And there was some terrible ones. I mean, some that were going out, 30 to 40 cents a mile. And I'm like, you think I have nothing better to do for the next hour and a half than drive around and get paid 40 cents a mile? I mean, dude, that's like, dude, that's so bad. So yeah, I reject a lot of the Uber Eats ones. Now, even their small ones are pretty bad. Like a 6 miles, you might get, $4 for 6 miles or something. And I'm like, it's still not good. So because my rule is $1.50 a mile minimum. So DoorDash usually comes pretty close. I mean, they're rarely under $1 though. I mean, DoorDash is almost always at least $1 a mile. It's rare that they're under $1 a mile. I don't know how they get people to pick up those big ones. All I can think about, because even DoorDash is a little worse than the miles get big, right? When you have a 15, 20 mile ride. And a lot of times those are misleading because it's like, oh, it says this is a 25 mile drive for $12. And you're like, okay, well, if I want to do that, I'm basically spending the next hour driving for $12. So basically I'm going to get $12 an hour. And it's not going to be a simple one. No, you're not going to go pick up one item. In a lot of cases, you're picking up like 3 items and going to 3 different places. They're just like, what it is nobody's taking their crappy orders. So they're combining them and giving you the option to go take, a bunch of crappy orders. And you don't even know it sometimes because it doesn't really say. It says this many miles for, and it says, might be 3 items, but, a single place could have 3 items. You're picking up 3 items at the place. So you don't know that 3 items could be 3 different locations. Or worse yet, you get a shopping one where you get to go shop around, spend 40 minutes shopping around at Walmart or Safeway or whatever, picking up the stuff, checking it out. It says, I don't think Uber Eats has let me do that yet. They keep asking me to. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I ignore Walmart, Safeway, anything that takes me to those places because those always take so long. And you always end up with piles of groceries in your car and you get nothing. They pay you a pittance. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I hate to say it to all you people out there who are ordering groceries online, but that's a lot of effort and a lot of work and a lot of space being taken up in a person in your driver's car. You're not going to help them unload their car, so they're going to go back and forth to take all your groceries to your door. So it's going to take a lot more work for them. And when you offer like next to nothing in tip, you're really kind of screwing them, and you're not going to get people picking up your order. It's just nobody's going to want to deliver your stuff. I'm just telling you. You're going to have a hard time with that. So, if you're asking for a Safeway that's 5 miles away, throw them an extra $5-10, man. It's the only way you're going to get them to pick up. I get it. You want to have stuff delivered to you. We do it too, but if you don't want to tip, then don't order. It's like, I don't need to tip. I'm already paying extra. You're paying extra to the service. The drivers are not getting paid extra. So keep that in mind. When you do a DoorDash order at your local Safeway or something, Safeway gets their normal their cut. DoorDash gets a piece, but that doesn't go to the driver. And then the driver gets some small amount of that. And if you don't tip, then it's going to look crappy. And they're not going to want to do it because there's a lot of work in grocery deliveries. Dude, I had a Walmart pickup one time. I showed up at Walmart. They brought out 2 carts of stuff. Carts. I'm not talking about push carts. I'm talking about these big carts where they had like 2 shelves of plastic bags. I had to open my trunk. I put stuff in the trunk. I have a pretty big trunk, luckily. That's my Celica. but I put like 10 bags in the trunk. I put like 6 or 7 in my back seat. I put 2 or 3 or 4 more in the front seat, the passenger seat. I went to this house, and it took me 10, 15 minutes going back and forth with my car, just taking all the, and I carry a lot of bags at once, you know, I'm that guy. I grab a bunch of bags and I'm lugging them over, and it was a long walk. It wasn't even like a house to a driveway. It was like a house with a long path out to the road, out into the cul-de-sac. And I literally was walking 30, 40 yards minimum to go from my car to their door. I like walk back and forth. I mean, I probably put in a quarter-mile walking just unloading the car. I was like, and they gave no tip. I made like $7 on this delivery, and I probably drove, I don't know. I think I was misled. I thought it was a little bit more, you know, it was going to be more. It's like, I think it was like 6 miles, got $7, 0 tip, spent, and it took them 10 minutes or at least 5 to 10 minutes to load my car up because, you know, getting it all in there. So it turned into a 40-minute effort for $6 or $7, whatever it was. And I was like, yeah, never doing that again. So if it says Walmart or any place where I know that there's a good chance it's a lot of stuff, or it could be a lot of stuff. Yeah. Sorry, man. You're not getting me to deliver your stuff. Unless it's an amazing paying thing. If it says 3 miles and I'm getting $30 for it, maybe I'll go to Walmart. But, yeah. Anyway, I digress. I know I'm digressinating. Digressing? Digressing. Digressinating sounds better, but it's not a word.
We have the regenerate gRPC code. This is a command that we're going to use, so let's just copy this guy here. And what we need to change is here.
So he's changing this.
It is on /API, and we want to target the oms.proto.
All right, so API oms. So, okay, so it is going from the folder that you're currently in. It's the API folder. Well, I guess it's just from wherever it's being called from. So the root would be API, and I don't know why it's like API proto, because it's like, so it's from the common folder. Oh, it is makefile. Oh, okay, no. Okay, so that's the same. Okay, so relative root would be in this case the common folder. So we're fine.
File. Let's try this out. Actually,
all right, we're gonna go try it.
So let's go to the comments.
We're gonna go here. Where am I? Am I still in Gateway? No. Oh, that did go there. That was weird.
And let's do make gen.
Make gen. Ah, blew up. Oh yeah, let's do that. That might be why that didn't work. I didn't realize I was missing something that was related to the makefile stuff. Probably going to need that. Seeing as I'm trying to do makefile stuff. Let's try that again. Still didn't like it. Okay. The term make is not recognized as a name of commandlet, function, script file, or executable program. Check the spelling of the name. Well, I don't think that's it. Problem is I'm probably missing something. So let's go see what my buddy has to say. He can tell me what I'm missing. We'll go with Copilot. He's pretty good for the simple stuff. I think this is a simple stuff. A simple stuff thing. Yeah, just tell me. Oh, come on, just do it. I mean, it looks like the make command isn't recognized. Yeah, I know. That's exactly what it looks like. Install Chocolatey. If you don't have Chocolatey installed, you'll need to install it first. Really? I need Chocolatey for that? Install make. Once Chocolatey is installed, run the following command to install make. Huh. Alright, well. I've never I thought I had chocolatey, to be honest. Ooh, Choco was found. Choco is found. An existing chocolate installation was detected. Installation will not continue. The script will not overwrite existing installations if there is a chocolate. Okay, so that's not. So that might not be a problem. Let's copy this thing then. Sure, you want to paste 4 lines of text into the terminal? Yeah. Why not? Why are you suddenly all paranoid of that? That's. Is it 4 lines of text? It's a pretty long line of text. You know, let's paste it here, just so I can see what it is. All right, so we got. It's 1 line of text. I don't know what you're talking about. Choco install make -y. Oh, that's because it's this. Doing something? I can't tell. I do know that it should probably go back to a PS command here if it's going to work. Make is not recognized as an internal. Wait a minute. Install. Once chocolate is installed, run the following command to install make. Did it not do anything? I don't know what's going on here. Did I do something? Did I break something? That's the question. Why do we have like a weird arrow here? Alright, well, whatever that did. Set execution policy. Let's see what happens if I do this now. Nope, still didn't work. Huh. So, okie dokie. Oh, is this guy using Mac? Is he on a Mac? The reason I say that is because he's using this SH command thing. Open PowerShell. I am using PowerShell, but it's not working, my friends. Make -y. I don't even know. How to fix make command not found. Oh, this is weird. What if I just run? What if I just saw install make -y? Because I tried this thing. All it does is that. I don't know what that is. It sets this dot. I don't even know what those 2 arrows mean. I'm sitting in some state of what? Yeah, it's like I'm in some weird state of something. Huh. What if I do... Alright, let's try this. Choco install make dash y. All right, chocolatey detected you're not running from an elevated command shell. You may experience errors. Many function packages require admin rights. For the question below, you have 20 seconds to make a selection. Do you want to continue? Well, yes. If it has an error, I'll deal with it. Okay, so this is progress. Something's happening. I am not using an elevated command shell, so it's right. So we'll see if that's going to be a problem. I don't remember him saying anything about installing make, but obviously it's something that's necessary. So I think that's still doing something. Although it says downloading 100%, but it's still in progress. I'm going to be right back. All right, I'm back. I had to go throw in me a breakfast burrito. Wait. Oh, it did complain. It did complain. You're a complainer. All right, so let's go with PowerShell here. Let's see if PowerShell can solve this problem for me. Let's see, what was it called? Install what? Make. Oh, Choco. Install make.y. Hey, how did it know that? That was pretty good. Although I don't know how to. Do I tab? No. It's like I've always wondered how do you. It shows you this. See, it says install, but do I hit? Oh, okay, that's what it is. It's right arrow. All right, so now it's not. It shouldn't complain that I have permissions. Oh, that was much quicker. Chocolatey installed. Okay, the install of make was successful. I guess that's the trick. I don't have any idea what that citation make is not recognized thing. But that seemed to do the trick. All right, let's see if I can do my make.gen now. Oh, I'm going to have to take this out, though. Pretty sure that's not going to work. All right. Make gen. Well, I recognized make. No rule to make target gen stop. Okay.
And here we have...
So his did something. I mean, it didn't do something, but that's something, right? I mean, it just took it and did its thing. Me, I have make. No rule to make target gen. What's it talking about? Gen colon. Oh, you know, I don't have an @ sign here. At. I think that is the only difference. Yeah, all right, let's try that again. Make gen. Nope, that didn't do it. I mean, not that I didn't. I mean, I didn't save, but does that matter? Yeah. Okay. Missing separator. Oh well, that is a different error. I'll save all. Missing separator. How is it different from his? API / OMS proto. I did that. Make file. Okay, so he's got some extra stuff that I somehow missed him producing. Because like he's got API OMS grpc pb.go and OMS pb.go and OMS proto. I don't remember him creating these other two files. He never mentioned that. I told you this guy leaves a lot of stuff out. He says, oh yeah, I have these things, but don't worry about it. You won't need them. Paths. I mean, really, I don't see how this is different unless it cares about this space that I'm missing. But I can't see how that would matter. Missing separator. Huh. All right, well, maybe that was a separator. I don't know. Nope, that wasn't it. Make file. 2: missing separator. Is it maybe my OMS proto file? Could be. I mean, maybe I did something wrong here. Actually, I don't remember even. Well, it is distinct. I mean, I did create this with intent to be unique for my situation. Because remember, I'm coding this not like he is. I'm coding mine to fit my app. So when I make changes, I try to stay along with his instructions, but I make my own updates. And it's quite possible I made a boo-boo. So it's quite possible I'm running home because it says I'm missing a separator. Now this guy looks bad because it has no coloring. So items with quantity. Oh yeah, I don't have anything here. Let's take this out. Alright, so my user ID, create game plan request. Still didn't like it. Same problem. I don't know if the problem, honestly, I don't know if the problem's in the make file or if it's, I mean, if syntactically this is correct, then it's probably not the make file. It could be my proto file. But again, there's like no real clue. I mean, he crams a lot into one little section of code here, so. Game situations, game plan. String ID. I'm trying to figure out what separator it's talking about. What did I miss? Game plan, create game plan, request, create, oh. Well, maybe this is supposed to be that. Create game plan. Game plan service. RPC. And create. Well, that's most likely a problem. I don't know if it's the problem. Which means I got to go back. I don't. Again, this guy has a GitHub, but I went and looked, and you can't find his code anywhere. It'd be so much easier to just look at the code. So, because he's only got part of it on the screen, he's bouncing around all over the place. You can't see what he's working on half the time, and you're like, "But what if I need to reference this other thing? Or what if I don't know where this is?" I couldn't find it anywhere. I went and looked. He's got a bunch of stuff on his GitHub. I wonder if I could just... What if I go to Commons API? I don't know if that's a thing, but it is his API location, supposedly. So let's go look. Let's go look. All right, Unity. I'm skipping you on right now. So let's see. github.com/sicko PC. That's what his name is. Sickos on PC. Sickos on PC. I didn't even spell that right, did I? SIKO Zon PC. Oh, I put an extra letter in there. Zon PC. Commons. API. Nope. It's probably a private thing. So let's see if I look up. Sick goes on. Sick goes on PC. And then we go to projects. Or how about repositories? Does he have? No, he don't have commons. So it must be a private. He doesn't have it available. Now he does do like a $14 a month class. Maybe he gives you access to it when you have that. But you can't get to his Sickos on PC Commons stuff. So whatever this is, yeah. So it's not actually available. So you have to figure it out. Or I do.
It is going to have an ID. The reason I'm making these ID strings is because
I kind of have to go back farther so I can see the other part, because he may never go down here. Create order request, order service.
New type, so I'm going to call this here message items with quantity, and it's going to have an item ID, which is going to be a string, and then we could have the quantity, which could be an int32. I'm going to call this quantity, and this should need to add here the create order requests. And then let me also create the response.
All right, I have this. I did not actually do that, but did he put anything in here? This is one of those I think he started and then he stopped.
Actually, let's just return.
Oh, he did take that totally off. I didn't even see that.
An order, I think it makes sense. And here let's define the order. This is going to be a very important type. It is going to have an ID. The reason I'm making these ID strings is because they are going to be MongoDB IDs, which are going to be like those hashes, if you know what I mean. And then we have the customer.
It's like, it'll be those MongoDB IDs with the hashes. You know what I mean. He's not saying it like that, but it's like, I don't know what you mean. I've never actually developed a Mongo database, but that'll be cool. I'll go along with the ride. Let's do this. You said I had to be an expert in Go, not MongoDB. I mean, I don't care if I'm an expert. I'm not an expert. I know nothing. I know nothing of this craziness that you speak. But that's okay. I'm all good for knowing nothing. I'm going to know something when this is all said and done. Will I be an expert? Well, will I have developed an awesome game and consider myself an expert at MongoDB, Go, Unity, and React? Unlikely, but I'll have a heck of a resume. I mean, I'll have a good resume. Oh, I created this using all of these, and this is a super fantastic game. It made me gajillions of dollars. Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to be here. I wasn't going to come and interview. I just wanted to brag. You know what? I'm fed up with technical interviews. Technical interviews suck. I feel like, okay, this is me, and that's probably just me being full of myself. It's possible. But look, I've been developing code for 30-some years. I'm self-taught. I learned how to do all this stuff. I'm learning stuff now. I'm going to figure this out. It's going to get done. It might take a little while. Yes, I get it. But I'm going to hack my way through it. I'll get it all done. It's going to come out cool. But technical interviews that ask you to do random little crap things that you may or may not have done more than once or twice or maybe 3 times in your career, that you're basing your entire interview process on the person's ability to remember how to do this weird little thing that nobody does. Maybe it's more common than I think, but how common are binary operations? You know, in all the trainings I ever take, I never see anybody going, oh yeah, right here, we're going to use a binary operation to do this thing. I've never seen that. It's never existed. I've never run into a situation where I'm like, what I need here is a binary operation. No. So why are you putting how many people do you know that you're hiring? It's the kids right out of college who probably did some binary crap because they always teach random crap at school. And then they make them test it over and over again. And then they go through interview education classes where they just do the same interviews and they basically do interview testing, technical testing, because they don't have any experience doing real code. They have no experience doing real code, so they have to have that. So when you technical interview them, that's what they know. That's their thing. And you're going to hire based on that. However, when you're looking for somebody who's got 5, 10, 15 years of experience, who is self-taught and has proven in their jobs that they know how to figure things out, get the job done, and write decent code, that should matter. Not whether or not they remember how to do this thing that maybe they learned in college 20 years ago, because they got better things to do than be studying random oddball technical problems that they never did in the real world. So if you're not going to let somebody's experience and proof of work speak for their abilities, then it's your loss. Your loss, man. I don't know. That's all I gotta say. It's your loss. You're losing out on a lot of good developers because you're putting them on the spot and expecting them to remember these technical nonsense. You want people to go spend time reading through a book of problems that they never have to do in the real world. I mean, arrays come up. I get it. There's a lot of testing on arrays, but still, there's so many things you can do with an array, and short of just spending your day mastering all the various versions and formations and methods of arrays, you're still losing out on a person who's going to figure out, if the need for an array comes up, I will figure it out and I'll make it work. I mean, they're not that complex, but I just don't memorize all the syntax and methods and options for arrays and how to do it when I've got 12 people watching me in a technical interview. It might not even take me half the time it would take me if I was in the interview. It might take me the full 45 minutes to figure out a 15-minute thing, because I've got people questioning my every action, my process. And maybe I don't know. I don't know what you guys think is important. And so there you go. There's my rant for the day. Logitech interview ranting. I mean, it's like, I don't think Microsoft, I don't think Amazon, I don't think Facebook is doing anything so complex that I'd be like, I don't know what to do. How do I get this job? No, I'd figure it out. I'd get in there, I'd dig through, I'd learn it. You know, if you have an application that I can focus on and I can get in there and play with and actually do meaningful work, I will come up with meaningful answers. And I say that because my last job did not let me do meaningful work, but they expected me to learn all this other stuff that I never had work doing. I wasn't working on it. But 6 months after not working on something, they go, have you mastered this? I'm like, no, you've given me 6 months of other stuff to do. So no, I haven't spent much time in that because I've been working on this other stuff. Because you've got 10,000 things going on at once, and there is no learning something if you don't get to work with it. I'm ranting. I know, I'm ranting, complaining, because I'm a good developer. I can figure stuff out. I'm building this entire thing out of technology I'd never seen before, and a lot of it I haven't heard of until the last couple of weeks. Unity, Go. Well, I knew about Mongo a long time ago, just never did anything with it. And React, I've only been working on for 5 or 6 months. So I'm going to get all this done. It's going to get figured out. I'm going to learn the syntax of Go. I'm going to get all these things zipping along, and it's going to be a cool app. And it's not going to mean squat to any of you. And that's just irritating. They go, we want 6 years of experience. But really, all we want you to do is know how to do a technical test of these random things we're going to ask you. It's like, well, you could get that from a kid out of college who says, oh yeah, I spent 4 years on this, and I've mastered all the tests. But he's never developed anything in his life, and I guarantee you, his work's going to look worse than mine and probably function worse. Unless, of course, you ask him to do something that requires binary operations or arrays.
On ID as well, we could have a status.
Let's go see if this works. I did clean up some stuff. Let's see if that did anything. Missing separator. I wish I would know where, what. Then tell me nothing about where am I missing a separator. Just missing separator, which means nothing to me. Do I have a comma missing? A separator, which is often used in a string somewhere. Could it be this thing? Did I,
we need to change is here. It is on /API, and we want to.
Kind of interesting. Oh, so maybe when you make, it creates those files? Because he doesn't have those here anymore. They were here, and now they're gone.
Targets the oms.proto file. Let's try this out actually. So let's go to the comments, and let's do make gen.
Do I need to go to I am in common? So I don't know where this make missing operator is. Be right back. I'm cooking me a breakfast burrito. So, takes a little while. I'm using the air fryer. So, that's what I'm running up and downstairs for. It's not done. I heard it beeping, but probably because it wants me to flip it over, and I flipped it over, but it only had 2 minutes left, but whatever. Okay, so where am I missing a separator? A separator. It's usually a comma or a semicolon. Where? Where, oh, where can that separator be? Where, oh, where can it be? Do I have one here? Because this is what we created right before we created that other stuff. Let's try bash. I sometimes will just switch to something else because make gen. Mostly because I have, yeah, it's the same. Wait, no rule to make target gen. Well, that's different. I mean, it's different because I got that error when I was using PowerShell, but I didn't get it recently. See, like here it says no rule to make target, but then down here it says missing separator. So which is it? Is it both? Do I have the no rule to make target went away and then it was just missing separator? But then over here I'm just like back to missing target. No rule to make target gen. And it doesn't really show. Oops. Yeah. All right, well, let's see here. I'm going to go. Let's go talk to my buddy. See if my buddy knows something here. Hey, buddy. I could use your help with this. Getting error. Make no rule. This is my make file. Getting error in my Go application when I run make gen Oh, that's what that is. Oops. Well. Alright, now let's try this. Now it's changed. Oops. That's why it was different. It's interesting. This has a hyperlink to it. Open file in editor. Oh, it's this file. Alright, so there is something weird about how I have this laid out. which apparently was not an issue for the other guy. Commands must be indented using a tab, not spaces. Oh. Oh, is that what the problem is? So I just need to go, oops, like that. Huh. Ah, it's Python-esque. Python uses spaces in a way, or tabs and stuff. I hate Python for that very reason, even though I've not actually done much Python programming. It just took that one time, that one learning for me to hate it. Spaces? Use spaces and tabs for code relevance? Don't. I'm never programming in you again. I may not be. I may go back to it, but right now I'm like, nah, that's dumb. Okay, what's the difference? The system cannot find the file specified. OMS proto E equals MC squared. Error 2. Okay, so what did I miss this time? Okay, so new problem. Be right back. I'm gonna go get my food. I know it's done now.